Hey everybody, we are live. Thanks for your patience. Here we are. Benji, how you doing?
What's up? I'm doing amazing right now. I just had 2 shots of espresso.
Nice. I've had some coffee today as well. We're just going to take a second. Benji, if you want to take a second, do some social media. And I just got to send one thing out here.
Do we have people on yet? I don't know.
We got to see if it's actually public and if it's working.
Okay, let me
Yeah, some people are starting to find it. So we have a few people. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us today on this. We are doing live Q&A as well as we have some stuff to share. But do us a favor as we just kind of get started today and hit the share buttons on this and spread the word. Social media, Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, MySpace, Pinterest, whatever you got.
I'm gonna do some video on Twitter. Wait, hold on one second.
Benji's Twitter videoing. Did you know about the native Twitter video? Talking about video influencers, Twitter video native is one of the coolest things out there. And if you've noticed, every platform's got video, right? Facebook video, Twitter video, YouTube, Snapchat, of course, is video. And so anyways, welcome to this live call. We'll get started in just a second. Just want to welcome everybody, get these links shared out there. And I will turn this music off in a second. Let me see if I can change the song up. Benji, can you hear this music?
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
I sure can.
We're going live. Welcome, everybody. My name is Sean on the call. We have Benji, Travis on the call as well. And this is Video Influencers. On this channel, we help you build your influence, income, and impact with online video. We're super pumped to be hanging out with you today. Thanks for making some time on a Friday to hang out with us. And let's check it out too, Benji. We're gonna get this thing set up about the comments. Okay, cool. We got comments. All right, everybody. I can see your comments on Facebook, on the Google Hangout. That's where you want to share this. I see CJ from Alaska. I see Russia. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Thanks so much for being here. I see LND from Colorado. And so, yeah, hit us up on the YouTube comments on this Google Hangout and let us know where you're watching from. Hey, what's up?
I love it, Sean. Judy just tweeted this out and said I look cute on this. I love it. This always trying to make me look cute. I'm trying to look handsome here.
Hey, Felipe from... I missed it. Hey, what's up, Kevin from California? Hey, what's up? Love Sherox from London. Save your questions up. We're going to hit them in a second. And we got really quick, like 5 key things to launch off with and then get your questions ready. Benji, the word is getting out on this Hangout. And so, hey, if you're just joining us, thanks so much for being here. And we would love if you could help us spread the word about this Friday YouTube Google Hangout, taking your questions and talking about the 5, we think, best ways to grow your YouTube channel in 2016. And Benji, I think we can get started in just one second. Are you ready to rock?
Shoot with the questions. I don't have any way to see the questions. I really want to be focused in. First off, thank you to all of my viewers or anybody following me on Facebook, on Twitter. I did just Snapchat this. And welcome to the webinar. So I'm excited, you know, just to give you a little context, because a lot of people know me as the vlogger, husband of Judy on It's Judy's Life. And, you know, we've been doing this, my wife, Judy, and I, for the last 7-8 years. It's been something that's been a great blessing, a lot of hard work, however, just like so many cool things. And I guess the reason why Sean and I want to do this, not only do we have a new channel called Video Influencers where we're teaching this stuff, but I think a lot of people love this idea of becoming a YouTuber or would love to make a living from making YouTube videos. So today, correct me if I'm wrong, Sean, but we are going to be sharing as many tips and tricks, sharing our experiences, stories, as well as trying to give you guys some like key principles to keep in mind to basically start a YouTube channel or make a living from that.
Yep, 100%. And thanks so much for joining us. And we actually have 5 things that we'll share with you, but get your questions ready because we'll be a Q&A in no time. But you may have seen the webinar earlier this week in the workshop, and I've been getting a ton of questions, been getting new students into Video Ranking Academy. and I've been doing some Facebook Live. But one of the things that we've been noticing is our first strategy for today. And we're talking about like the essential thing. And this might be one of the biggest mistakes that people make on YouTube across the board, or one of the biggest tweaks you could make to get better results. And so out of these 5 things, the first one is really talking about your focus of your channel and your branding. And one of the big things that you want to define, that we're actually seeing a lot of people that don't have defined when it comes to YouTube, is their target audience and the value that you're going to deliver to that audience. Like, and if you haven't defined those 2 things up front, then you're kind of just wandering, and you're probably not dominating. Benji, what do you think about having a clear brand and focus when it comes to YouTube?
Yeah, and I think even to take it one step back is like, make sure you're doing something that you love, okay? Something that you're passionate about. And I think that's gonna make it easier to actually think about that audience. The reason I mentioned that is because Tim Ferriss actually mentions this, like when considering who your audience is. Basically, your audience is just a duplication of you. Now, obviously, you know, there's going to be females that are into the same things that I am. It's not just going to be all males, right? But in terms of like the general idea of the type of person that not only would want to watch you, but would gain value from you. So what do you think about that, Sean?
I totally agree. And I think that one of the best ways to help people think about how to have focus and clarity on YouTube is like a cable network TV station. And the reality is this. Think about this. What channel or what kind of content is on ESPN? Let me know in the comments. That's obvious though, right? It's sports. That's sports content. What kind of content is on Comedy Central? Benji?
Funny stuff.
Comedy. And what kind of content is on the Food Network?
Food.
That's right. And so one of the big things though is that if you try to make a YouTube channel that combines sports, food, and home design like HGTV, then the people who subscribe for sports are going to unsubscribe when you start doing home stuff, because you're all over the place. And so definitely there's people who break the mold. And if you're a lifestyle channel built around a personal brand, you can, do whatever because they're following you. But usually if you want to break through this year on YouTube, you want to know what the branding and the clarity of your channel is, and you want to stick to that. I think the greatest illustration we've heard, Benji, was Laura Vitale and Joe, when they were just talking about, they said, we set out and we knew we were going to do this cooking channel. And then midway into it, we started getting requests to post beauty videos on here and lifestyle, but we kept our focus. And so some people can break that, but if you want to break through in 2016, focus is power. That's the first strategy. What do you think, Benji? Absolutely.
I think more and more people know exactly what they want. They search it out. I think that's another thing. I mean, it kind of segues into tip number 2, but people look for exactly what they want. So like if you're a channel that's kind of all over the place, it might be harder for you as a new YouTuber, as a new influencer online, to be able to reach out to those specific people, to be able to be in front of the search queries people have on YouTube and Google. So I think it's really important to be clear about, number 1, what is it that you're passionate about that you want to share on YouTube? 2, what is the audience that you're going to be speaking to? What kind of content do they want to see, or you think that they want to see? So I totally agree with you, Sean.
And here's a little workshop item to do for your channel right now if you're watching this call, or do this later. You want to summarize your YouTube channel in 1 sentence. And so that when somebody joins, and remember this, every time, think about the person, assume every time you post a new video that people who have no idea who you are potentially going to be watching your content, and always speak to them a little bit, your current audience as well as new people. So you got to sum it up in 1 sentence. And if you can't do that, then people aren't going to know if they want to subscribe to or not. So you've been a part of this video influencers community. We're super, we appreciate it, but you probably have noticed that in videos, we'll start out, we'll say, hey, thanks for checking out this video. On this channel, we post tips and strategy videos as well as interviews with video influencers to help you build your influence, income, and impact with online video. And honestly, that took us, it's kind of like takes a while to develop that.
Totally.
But what is your clarity statement that you could say, this is the value I'm going to offer you, and this is why you should subscribe to me on YouTube, because this is what I'm going to be doing here.
Boom. It's a great start.
Man.
Thank you to anybody that's just chiming in. I'm Benji Travis on the other side.
And my name is Sean, and I'm here in Las Vegas. Benji, where are you at?
I'm here in Seattle, Washington, and we're just so happy to be on this live Q&A. I know some of you probably are just chiming in. You just clicked the link. We just went through tip 1. The good thing is I think you can actually back up in footage, but basic Q&A, keep them coming in the comments area here on this YouTube live window. I'm reading them. In fact, I'm just saying there's Dentista says, hi, Benji. Amanda says, hey, guys. Board Insiders is also from Seattle, too. So what's up?
All right, so let's get through the rest of these, and then we'll jump into your Q&A in just 1 second. So the first one is figuring out your target audience and figuring out the focus of your channel, like having that branding. The second one is ranking videos. And if you haven't been on the live, if you didn't see the live workshop, it's still available, so you can check that out on the channel here. And it really goes through how to do this. But specifically, assuming now that you've got a cooking channel, and apply this to whatever your channel is, now you've got clarity of what kind of content you're going to build. And obviously your audience is people that are interested in recipes, cooking, food, learning about that. And so now you want to create ranked videos that show up in search results around that, so that you attract total strangers finding your videos in search and being like, man, I was just looking for a steak recipe, but I like your channel and I like your vibe here. I'm going to subscribe. And the more ranked videos you have, your goal is to build a library of ranked videos that are getting you views while you snooze. And so when you're sleeping in the middle of the night, someone just found your steak recipe and they're like, man, this channel's cool. They subscribed, you're getting views, your brand is growing, your channel is growing, even when you're not posting new videos.
Ranking. So just to explain ranking for anybody that might be a beginner, somebody not familiar with that term, ranking a video just means you're trying to get your videos to be on the Google searches or the YouTube searches specifically when people are searching for something. For example, if you're a cooking channel and we were just mentioning steak recipe, if someone types in steak recipe, you want your video to rank really high. First page, hopefully first search results. So that's why ranking is so important. And I'll just tell you from my standpoint, like, especially because I do have a food channel, ranking is really important, not just for any YouTuber, but especially when you're first starting out. The reason you want to rank your video so high outside of the obvious is because if you have no audience, this is one of the best ways, at least on YouTube, to get found, right? So whatever the type of content is, I think somebody that's a great example that people forget is like the master of ranking is Casey Neistat. What he would do is he would create videos that he knew were being searched. Maybe, I don't know if this was his thought process, but just by the subject matter that his videos were on, people are searching these things out and his videos would come up real high. So he would often get all these new viewers because his videos are so high, are ranking so high in search.
Absolutely. And one of the things that Casey especially did, and this would kind of come as in a ranking, is he identified trends and then he made videos as quick as possible around those trends. So as soon, one huge trend that you know is going to be giant was like a new iPhone release. And so he would do something crazy like spray paint and turn an iPhone 6 gold, but he would get that video out as quick as possible, knowing that for that iPhone 6 search, he could boost it up there. And so when you combine trend thinking and you combine ranking videos, you could definitely reach a lot of new people and have your channel grow. And so I just posted a link in the comments with the webinar. It goes deep in how to rank. And so save that link and you could go there later. And we'll also talk more specifically in the Q&A, but we want to jump through these so we can get to your questions. Number 3, the third way to, of course, grow on YouTube, and you've probably heard about this before, but we want to share some tips, is collaborations. Benji.
Boom. collaborations. Now, Judy and I, especially being all the way out here in Seattle, Washington, we aren't necessarily very close to a lot of YouTubers, so we didn't get a lot of opportunities to go to events. So collaborating is really important to be able to grow your audience, but you don't have to be with the person to collaborate. So in essence, collaborating means you find another YouTuber who has a similar audience, hopefully, who has a similar type of content, doesn't always have to be, but you know, meshes well with your viewers, and you basically collab. So you could do a video and they could do a reply back video. I know on my cooking channel, I've done a collaboration with Byron Talbot. He also does cooking videos, recipe videos, and we were doing like a hamburger throwdown where he would cook his best hamburger, put it up at the end. He would mention, hey, you know, check out the person I'm doing this collaboration with, Benjamin TV. I would do a hamburger recipe, and then I would just say the same thing. So collaborating, that cross promotion, driving traffic back and forth, very powerful, especially in the beginning, to be able to grow your channel and get in touch with the audiences that potentially would love your content.
And Bench, you mentioned a good point there about having that alignment if possible, because here's the thing. To this day, I've never seen Kanye West go on a Garth Brooks album. And so that's country and that's hip hop. Now, sometimes that crosses, but it's two totally different audiences. Whereas if you're a hip hop artist and you're coming up, you want to get featured on like a bigger hip hop artist channel, but you're still hip hop. So the fan base is probably going to like yours as well. So one of the things that'll really help with collaborations is if you have clarity for your channel. If you have a clear cooking channel, like Benji mentioned, and then you collaborate with somebody else in that space, you could potentially add value to each other, even if your channels aren't the same size. Tech, beauty, lifestyle, same kind of thing. So let's talk about just a few tips of how to find collaborations. And I think one of the biggest things for this is you just got to go out and hustle. Like hustle on Twitter to find people locally, find other YouTubers. If you are on FameBit and you already have 5,000 subscribers, they have a whole collaboration section where you can discover other people that want to collab. Get into YouTube forums on Facebook, get into private Facebook groups and find people that you can collaborate with. Any size. And I wouldn't worry about collaborating with people smaller than you, bigger than you, same size. I would try to do as much collaborations with that audience alignment. Because if you get on, again, you get on a comedy channel, but you have a sports channel, just like ESPN and just like Comedy Central, sometimes the audience alignment, it might be all right and you get a portion, but if you get alignment in collaborations, boom, then that's when you can really have some success.
I got one more tip too, because probably the number one question people ask me is like, how do I collab with somebody that's more popular than me? Like, how do I reach out to them? So a couple things on that note, because it's such a popular question. Realize that you're gonna have the best potential collaborating with people at the same subscriber level as you. Obviously, if you're starting at zero, you got to go somewhere, right? But don't discount what you bring to the table, even with somebody that is much more popular than you, that has more subscribers. Because there's something that YouTubers love more than you having a lot of subscribers, is great content. So say you're a YouTuber and you've got this great idea, or maybe like you're really good at video editing. Like Sean would be a great example of this, right? Like we've always been willing to collaborate with Sean because Sean's got such great video editing skills. He shoots video, he edits video, he's got vision. So Judy and I, regardless of what his subscriber level was or what ours was, we're always collaborating with him on different projects because he brought something to the table that was just as valuable as that cross promotion or that cross traffic. You want to mention anything about that, Sean?
Yeah, that's a great idea. So you could just really think about how you could get around and add value to other people. And you don't have to necessarily have a skill like video editing. I've heard, if you could just say, I would love to support you and help you out in any way and add value to somebody else in any way, then that's a great way to get an open door. The other thing to consider is that if you're really taking this thing seriously, like if you really are passionate about YouTube and online video, you should invest. Like you absolutely should invest. Like it's something about going all in. And so one of the things you could do is like, if you really want to make something happen, I would get to live events one of the best places you could go is places like VidCon or even smaller events, Playlist Live. But like, if you need to get to a conference, like it's worth investing if you care about this. If it's a hobby, that's cool, no big deal. But if you really think about this, like, you kind of want to, you know, pony up a little bit and be like, okay, I'm all in. Like, I'm not going to go out to eat all month so I can save money and I can do whatever. So I could, you know, get a bus ticket and go to this local blogging conference, local thing. I mean, even some of the greats, and we both follow Tim Ferriss, when he was launching his book and he wanted to get the word out there, you got to hustle. Like, you got to hit the pavement and make some moves and get out there. And he was buying plane tickets at his own expense. He was flying around. He was going to conferences just to try to connect with like 1 or 2 people. And he was investing early on to really make that happen. So, you know, find a way.
We just did it, Sean. I mean, like collaborating with Alex, right?
100%. Like, and it was like flight delay. I had a couple hour flight delays and like all this kind of stuff. I mean, it's not easy. Like, it takes, you know, you got to put in some hustle, but you can do that. And so whatever it is, you know, start wherever you're at, be innovative, be creative. Meetup.com, look for YouTuber events in your area. Look for conferences, connect with people in forums, Facebook groups, jump on Twitter, put in the hustle, put in the time to find collaborations.
Boom.
All right. And hey, we got, I think 2 more, but if you're just joining us, thanks so much for joining. My name's Sean. This is Video Influencers. We help you build your influence, income, and impact with online video. We got Benji on the call.
Benji. Travis here.
And if you could do us a favor and you're enjoying this, hit the share buttons on YouTube below this video. Spread the word on social media. If you've got Instagram, Snapchat, anything like that, let people know. Unless you're watching this on your phone, then it's like your device for sharing is kind of taken up. All right, we got 2 more. The next one, and then we're going to bring your questions. So get your questions ready in just a minute. The next one is community. And we mean 2 things by that. Number 1, that you want to build a community and have community thinking, of course, on your YouTube channel. But then you also want to get engaged in the greater community. And so here's an example. We've been talking about cooking a lot. Benji's got his cookie channel. He was collaborating with Byron's cookie channel, just as an example. So this applies to you. If you want to really grow your channel and your influence, engage in the greater community around your niche. So if it was cooking, ask yourself this question: what are the top 5 to 10 blogs and YouTube channels that you can go and not just spam and say, follow me and sub for sub and all that kind of stuff, but that you can actually go and engage in your niche? The top 5 blogs, the biggest YouTube channels. What are the places that people, because we started, remember, number 1, your target audience and the focus of your channel. Where are the places that your audience is hanging out? You want to go engage massively and put in the hustle in those communities.
Boom. Absolutely. And I think that's a great tip for how to start finding an audience, how to start building your own community. But I'll even take it back even more simple, and I'll share stories about Judy when she first started It's Judy Time. So I remember early on when she was starting her beauty channel, she would literally be on YouTube replying to comments, commenting on other YouTubers' videos, like really engaging just like in the YouTube video itself. People really appreciate when you take the time to reply back to them, especially if you're adding value. So especially if you're like a informative channel, you're educating or somehow sharing some kind of new ideas. And if someone has a question, just replying back to that question with an answer. Huge, huge. I think in the beginning, if you can really spend a lot of time doing that and making sure your viewers believe, you know, like that you really care, they'll get really invested in you. We have people that have been following Judy and I since literally 2009 that I still see their comments like, you know, I've been watching you since the first year you've been uploading videos. Super valuable. And you want to talk about building a community. I think that's the foundation of success on YouTube, is that community that really is loyal and dedicated to you.
Yeah, and so not just engaging with your own comments, your own community, building community on your channel, but the greater community. And so even having clarity on what that is is huge. Like, what is the story of what's the greater conversation taking place in your space? If it's tech, if it's the tech world, it's a huge world. There's lots of forums and places and events happening in that space. Here's a great question. What books, like what genre in the bookstore, and who knows how much longer bookstores are going to be around, but what category of books would your YouTube channel be in? Would it be in the humor section? Would it be in design and animation? Would it be in art and drama? Would it be in tech? You know, would it be in fiction or book? You know, like all these different things. If you can define that, and then who are the other authors in that space? Where are they hanging out? Same thing for YouTube. You want to engage in the greater community that is around your niche and your focus. And then the last one is social media, building awareness in other places about your YouTube content. Benji.
Okay, say that again. I was just literally Snapchatting what we're doing.
Number 5, the last one, and we'll recap, and we have Q&A in just a second, is social media. You want to use your social media, these other platforms. Benji was just he was doing social media as we were coming up on social media to realize that you can have you can build awareness to that focus of what you're doing on YouTube with the other platforms. Now, if you really want to build a YouTube channel, it doesn't have to be your main home base, but for a lot of you probably watching, definitely for us, YouTube for video influencers is our home base. Everything revolves around that. Now, for some people, it might be your blog, it might be a website, or maybe YouTube, you're mainly on Facebook, and there's a lot of other places to build up your influence. But for us, it's YouTube. So other social media is to point in that direction.
Absolutely. I totally agree that you absolutely need to be at least taking a look at other social media platforms to be able to build an audience. You know, when YouTube first was starting, it was a really intimate community. So it already had that feeling like to be able to find the people that had the same interests, just because there was less people. And then we're talking 2006 all the way up until maybe 2010. But YouTube has grown so much. It's really focused on being a great search engine versus just like a community platform. They tried with Google Plus, didn't work out so well. So I think when you're trying to find those communities of people, or the term is tribes of people that are interested in something similar, oftentimes you'll find that more easily on other platforms. I'm seeing YouTubers left and right just grow, like literally get 1 million subscribers in less than a year. And people always wonder, like, how are they doing that? Are they buying the subscribers? Is there some weird secret? What oftentimes is happening in the background, they've already grown so much on other platforms. It's super easy to promote your YouTube channel once you do that. I've got some friends that literally focus on growing their Instagram. So they didn't even make any videos. They're just posting pictures. They're still engaging. They're still treating Instagram like what we're suggesting treating your YouTube channel. They grew their followership. They grew a community. The engagement was good. And then finally they pulled the trigger, started a YouTube channel, and boom, just like that. And I think the reason, whether it's Pinterest, Instagram, even Twitter and Facebook, you can find those communities of people really easily. And you can find, like what Sean was saying, like going to those forums and going to the blogs, you can find that on those other platforms and grow there, get awareness there, and then drive it back to your YouTube channel, which hopefully in our case is your home base, and you can grow your engagement on that platform on YouTube.
And 2 power tips here is, number 1, one of the big mistakes you can make, though, is doing too much other social media, because the reality is I don't think you can do everything well everywhere as just usually one person, which most of us as YouTubers are. So you can't do well on Tumblr, Pinterest, Snapchat, Instagram, and Facebook, and you're periscoping all the time. Like it's too much. So one power strategy is to pick what you can actually do well and do consistently that will add value to your channel. And the second thing, power tip, is to pick, Benji mentioned Pinterest, to pick the social media platforms that are most relevant to the group of people, the tribe, your audience that you're trying to reach. We just posted the interview with Do It on a Dime, who has a frugal living DIY organizational channel on YouTube, and she's built up her channel. So Pinterest is one of her major focuses because of course that's DIY projects, decor, and it's super relevant for her audience. So she is going deep in that particular platform. Video influencers, we're not going deep in Pinterest because for specifically for YouTube advice or content, etc., is not as much of our focus. And so pick, don't spread yourself too thin, and pick the most powerful platforms that are relevant to where your audience, your demographic is living. Here, we're going to sum it up. And so get your questions ready, and we're going to grab them in the comments in just 1 second. The recap of these 5 points was: number 1, focus and branding. You want to start with clarity of who your target audience is and the value that you are offering them. The second one is build a library of ranked videos. And if you want more on that, there is a workshop that is posted at videoinfluencers.net/webinar. That's a deep workshop. Schedule some time so you can focus. It really goes into ranked videos. Number 3, collaborations, and try to have consistency of audience. Number 4, community. Engage not only and build a community on your YouTube channel, but engage in the greater community around whatever your niche is and be active there. And then number 5, social media. Once you have those things in place, use social media to bring awareness to what you're doing on YouTube, and you're going to crush it in 2016. Okay, we're looking in the questions right now.
I got a question, Sean. First question.
Yep, go for it.
From Kalan Joy. She actually asked this a while ago. It's a great question because we didn't really elaborate on it. We did mention a resource, but I think we should go into it because I think it's super key for someone new. Kalan Joy asked, how do you rank videos? So let's take a couple moments to actually talk about that, and then obviously share the resources. Again, to why this is so important to rank videos, because remember, YouTube is a search engine. Everything revolves around searches. So like when someone searches something, YouTube wants to give you the content that's going to be best for your search query, okay, for whatever you're searching. And ranking videos, and Sean's going to go into this a little bit more, but ranking videos basically is going to have a lot to do with how you title it, what you put in the info box, and the type of tags you use.
Absolutely. And so we'll jump right into how to rank videos and give you just a quick example, and I will take you with me on the screen over here. And so what you would want to do is, I'm on the homepage of YouTube right now, and you can see one of the best places to start is the YouTube search bar. And so we're looking at the YouTube search bar, and let's roll with that cooking example. And we know that we have a cooking channel, but this would apply to you. You want to start with the starting point. You know what kind of videos you generally want to make. And so I'm going to type in how to cook. And here's the first tip. This helps you come up with video ideas. And then we'll go deeper on here on how to rank those videos. So you'll see this, YouTube predicts all of these things. So I might be like, okay, I have a cooking channel, but I don't know what videos I want to make. Well, now we know in order of how much they are searched, how to cook steak would be the top search term for how to cook on YouTube. Then chicken, rice, salmon, eggs. And so now we're getting video ideas, but here's the huge key to really pay attention to, is that instead of titling your video just some random name, these words are the exact words that real human beings are typing into search. So now you could be creating content and titling it literally how to cook bacon. But let's check this out. If we do another space, look, we just got even more clarity. Now, how to cook bacon in the oven, in a microwave, 2 different distinctions. Now, if you go to another level of the distinction, you just got another level of power for reaching your audience, because how to cook bacon is actually a little bit general. But oven versus microwave, and Benji's the cook, I'm not the cook, but those are 2 totally different things. Benji wouldn't even have a microwave because he's gonna, he doesn't even own one, right? Because that's, the radioactivity or, whatever. But oven then is gonna be safer. It's gonna be, so 2 totally different audiences. So we just got an idea, bacon wrap filet mignon. Now we're getting ideas. Now the next thing, and we share this, and if you're interested in checking this out, we go even deeper with videoinfluencers.net/webinar. It's a free workshop. Is you want to use this tool called the Google Keyword Planner. And so the cool thing about this, it's totally free. You could Google it, Google Keyword Planner, sign up for an account. Now, one of the it'll seem sketchy, but you do have to enter your credit card number. You don't have to pay for any ads, but that's just to create a real account. And then you get access to this free tool called the Keyword Planner. So then what you can do is you could come back to the idea we started with on YouTube. Now think about this. Like we didn't know what we wanted to cook. We didn't even know what video we wanted to make, but because we want to make a new video, it's going to be how to cook bacon. We go here and we paste it in our product or service and we click get ideas. Now we come onto a page where it shows how much searches are happening a month. In March, there's going to be 3.4 million searches around how to cook bacon. And then we could go to keyword ideas. And this right here is where the money is. This is where the ideas are. This is where the golden opportunities are. Now we can actually discover that how to cook bacon is searched 27,100 times a month. And now here's the thing. If you ranked a video in search results for how to cook bacon right here on this page, you have the potential to get almost 30,000 views per month on your video if it ranks. And this is a combination of YouTube and Google and all those numbers, but it's still an accurate number to give you an idea of how many real human beings in the world are looking for this video idea. And so when we come here, the interesting thing is one of the big ranking factors is recency. And nobody's actually done a new how to cook bacon video. There's a 5-year-old one, there's a 3-year-old one. And if you simply came out with a legit video, really good content, you're an expert in your area because you love cooking and you've spent time cooking, and you just put out a good video. It doesn't have to be even super well produced. It just has to be helpful to people. Then you could rank a video for how to cook bacon and theoretically get exposure to 30,000 new people a month. So then what does that mean for your subscribers? Even if you're a brand new channel and you have a ranked video that people are finding in search, then they are click and subscribe to your videos. Then they are finding you on, I just shared the wrong screen. We just went into the warp portal of YouTube screens.
So let me kind of like piggyback on what you're talking about. And again, this is something that Sean specializes in. When we first met Sean back in 2010, Judy and I, we were already doing YouTube. We didn't know Sean and we just met him. This is one of the things that Sean taught us that literally made one of the biggest differences in our YouTube career, was literally how to get your videos ranked higher, right? And by the simple fact, and this is where I really want to share with you to simplify everything that Sean just said, just adding these search terms into the title, in the info box, typing in the type of words in the paragraphs to describe your video that actually would make YouTube put your video at the top of the search results, right? And in the tagging area, this is such a simple concept, but a lot of people don't even do it. Using these keywords as your tags, not just the word itself, but the phrases. Super important because a lot of people overlook that. And even to this day, the tags, the info box, especially your title, the Google machine that's looking at, different videos and seeing what's most relevant for somebody's search, looks at all those words, all those things that you put into it. So I would definitely say there's too much to go into it. Even what just Sean said can maybe be a little overwhelming. And that's why I think you guys should definitely check out Sean's webinar. He just did a couple days ago. I don't know where the link is, Sean, but you can go to our YouTube homepage and it goes in depth into what that is. But I'll tell you, that is not only the thing that probably made the biggest difference once we met Sean, but to this day, it's always been relevant no matter what algorithm changes, no matter how YouTube is a little bit different and other platforms get more relevant for whatever type of content. Ranking your videos, probably the #1 tip outside some of the basic principles of starting a YouTube channel. So
100%. And so make sure you can put this down. This webinar is available at videoinfluencers.net/webinar. It's coming down Saturday night. So if you're watching this replay and you missed it, then just make sure to watch it in the next day or so. So I want to talk about one really quick, and then we'll take some more questions. This plugin too that'll be helpful to you. You could download vidIQ for free, and then install the Google Chrome plugin into Google Chrome. And here's what it'll do for you. It says it right here, vidIQ Basic. So this is just the free version. And it gives you stats about videos. And you can actually see the tags your other people are using. You can call them even your competitors. But here's a video that just really illustrates the power of ranking a video. This video is from 2012, but it is getting 13 views per hour today. So all day long when we're on this webinar, when I'm walking my dog Rosie, when Sonia and I are making dinner tonight, 13 new people are discovering this video per hour, because these little blue numbers, these numbers right here show you where your video ranks for the tags that you're using. And so it doesn't even rank number one anymore, but it still is getting this much search traffic. You can see that how much because it's a ranked video, it'll even tell you how much the video has earned. And it is literally the power of ranking a video. So then there's one other tip here. If you click statistics on videos, you can see what happens to most people's YouTube videos is they hit a plateau. They don't go up like this with the green line. They go up when your audience sees it, however many subscribers you have, however much social media you do, but then they plateau. But if your video ranks, it goes up and up and up for years to come. And so I only made this video once. Rosie had to do it with me, and we shot the video. And once it was done, we uploaded it. And since that time, it has driven over 1,200 new subscribers to the channel. It is brought in income from, of course, YouTube AdSense. And then it actually generates income in other ways too that I talk about in the webinar. So we'll take some more questions, but definitely write this down and watch this in the next day or so, videoinfluencers.net/webinar. And that goes more into ranking, which is definitely something you should go for. All right, questions.
I got another question, but I don't know if you had one ready.
I don't have one, so go for it.
So this is just more like switching directions about tech, okay? So this one comes from Manpreet Kurana about which camera is better for YouTube. Now, just a little plug, we do have a video on this on Video Influencers that goes more into depth, so you can check it out. We actually have a ton of videos over there. But my comment to your question really is like, I would say get started with whatever you have, especially if you're somebody that doesn't have a huge budget. Maybe you can't afford a new camera. I know, Manpreet, you were asking about some like DSLRs. The thing is, these cameras these days, they all do HD. Almost all of them do 1080p, right? If you get a tripod that can actually hold this, you can start doing videos right away. And I think this is something really important to mention, because a lot of people get hung up on, oh, I need the best camera, I need this. Like, if you have some basic lighting like principles down, and you have a tripod that holds it steady, you can start doing videos right away. I'll tell you, Judy, when she first started, she had shoebox, tripod. So basically her tripod was a whole bunch of shoe boxes, and my old crappy digital camera. And just look at her old videos. Super low quality. The microphone was horrible. She started and she got going. Billion views later, like, don't wait for the right equipment. Just start with what you got. And then as you go on, you can afford to get better stuff.
Yeah, and I think that it's the thing to be obsessed with is tech is important, but content is always more important. And so even when it comes to like ranking videos, to be honest, like, you generally want your video to sound good. So having good audio, which a lot of times just means not filming next to the train tracks when a train is going by. Just having good audio, sitting maybe in front of a window so you have good lighting. But more than that, you want the content to deliver. So if we were going to make that video on how to cook bacon, you want that to be the best content, the most user friendly to the people finding it. That it makes sense. It's helpful. There's some energy there. And when they watch it, they go, wow, this person just delivered on the value proposition. If you, are creating a singing channel, that's one channel I'm never going to start, because I can't deliver good content when it comes to singing. So you would put out, obviously as a musician, you put out the best music possible. So on YouTube, think about how your content can add as much value, and then add even more than that. as much entertainment, information, education, inspiration, motivation to the end, to the viewer. And even if your camera quality is not that great, they're gonna love the channel. They'll subscribe.
Boom. We got about 15 more minutes, but I don't know if you want to find a question or if you want me to ramble a little bit to be able to find that question. But
Okay,
thank you so much, you guys, for putting in the comments area your questions. We want to answer as many as possible. We don't have very much time, so again, like if something doesn't get answered, I almost know for sure that we're gonna have some kind of video that will at least get you started on our channel. But feel free to ask them. Go ahead. Do you have anything, Sean?
Yeah, Cassandra says, my boyfriend is trying to grow a beatbox channel, something that's not searched for very often. How do you expand your channel if it's not a known topic? So Cassandra, well, let's break this down. This is a legit strategy for exactly what he's doing. What is searched for a lot is cover videos of cover songs.
Yep.
And so what he should do is, Macklemore just came out with a new album. The day or the day before, trying to find the leak of the new album, if possible, he should put out a beatbox video of covering some beat in there, whatever his talent could reproduce. And now what gets shared is someone looks up like a latest song, you know, Macklemore Downtown, and he's creatively doing a beatbox, maybe collaborating with somebody, or maybe it's Where It Is, whatever's creative about it. And that starts getting shared like, oh man, that's that new song. Look, this guy's beatboxing Hotline Bling. Like, I don't know. And so there's always ways to like parallel tie in whatever it is you're doing with stuff that's getting searched, do the ranking principles and get the word out there built on the good content of whatever his talent is, which in this case was beatboxing. Next question, and Benji, share your tips here. Dom and Paige asks, what's the best way to start a vlogging channel and the best way to grow a vlogging channel?
All right, so first off, defining vlogging. So obvious video log, like a blog, but it's all on video. So that can mean so many different things. Now, if you're referencing to like what Judy and I do on our daily vlog, where it's very casual lifestyle, just daily kind of stuff, I mean, this is a thing. It all depends on you. You personally, like, where do you have the most enthusiasm? Where do you have the most passion? You don't have to do anything like anybody else. In fact, I would argue that the channels that do the best outside of like people who are already popular and can just get viewers are people that are just like really interesting or really passionate. Like, you know, like why people watch vlogs is because they want to be entertained. You know, there's something about you that they just love to watch. There's something about you maybe they learn from. You know, like, especially like, for example, like if you're into food and there's this guy that like knows everything about food, and every time he goes in the grocery store, he's bringing his camera in. He's like vlogging fruits and vegetables and talking about exotic foods or whatever. If you're somebody that is into food, something like that is going to entertain you. That's going to captivate you, right? But say like you're just vlogging something because you want to become a vlogger and you don't really have a clear like perception of what it is that you actually love to do or want to talk about, then you're not going to have a good chance of finding other people that want to watch you. So I think there's a lot of things, a lot of variables that go into it, but it always starts with what you're passionate about, what you're interested in, what you feel like you're going to talk about with the most energy on camera. It doesn't have to be anything. But in terms of daily vloggers, so just to make clear, like Judy and I were daily vloggers. There's a handful of very popular daily vloggers out there. What I like to remind people is most of the daily vloggers that are really popular, that are you know, like obviously getting a lot of views, they were doing YouTube before they started daily vlogging. Rarely do you find somebody that is literally a daily vlogger and that's all they do, not having some kind of like main channel or something they were building for years. Judy, for example, she was making YouTube videos for 3 or 4 years on her beauty channel before she ever started the daily vlog. And almost any daily vlogger I know is the same way. So why that's really important, because if you want to start a daily vlog or a vlogging channel and you're trying to get more followers for whatever reason, remember there's a reason a lot of these more popular vloggers have those viewers. They've already built trust. They've already kind of like built an audience that is sold on their personality, loves to watch them no matter what they're doing because they were working on it for years. So like if you're just starting a channel just to be a like daily vlogger like what Judy and I are. Really hard to build an audience just from scratch. That's just my tip on vlogging, starting a vlogging channel.
So question from Sarah and kind of from Beauty by Zamara is, how do I stand out in a saturated market? And whether it's makeup, cooking, and fashion, how do I stand out? I think that's a great question. And the way to do that, I think the best way is to have a niche within a niche. And this goes into the power of focus. And so I was actually just doing some coaching recently with somebody who has a beauty channel. And but on the beauty channel, there was, even within beauty, it was kind of all over the place. There was some like Disney, there was like some Disney theme, like the makeup look of Frozen. But then there was like some, you know, smoky eye for a night out at the club. And boom, right there, we found like, okay, there's kind of like beauty itself is too general, especially in 2016. And then we looked over the content and realized that where her magic was, like where she was really hitting it, and even where her videos were resonating, was actually on the Disney stuff and not on maybe the higher end or clubbing or different looks, smoky eye, whatever. I'm not an expert in that space. So then as we honed down and said, okay, if you actually now realize that your demographic is not 13 to 65, and it's not even 21 to 35, but actually it's kind of this thing she's passionate about, but kind of go more all in that world of Disney, the Disney Channel, different looks of movies. Boom, you just went a niche within a niche for what your content is going to be. Epic Mealtime's a good example of, yeah, it's this, cooking is too crowded, but they took a unique angle on cooking. So how can you find a niche within a niche? And one tip I heard from one of my mentors, Shalene Johnson, she's talked about, she brought fitness is crowded. Lifestyle and fitness is crowded, but she was actually doing, before YouTube, was doing workout DVDs and things like that. And what she brought was all the DVDs didn't have any kind of behind the scenes bloopers. There was no authenticity today. It wouldn't even make sense to the YouTube world how kind of corporate it was. Is she brought hip hop music and like a whole new energy in music, and she brought behind the scenes and like a realness. And so she just brought something different to the same niche. And so how can you, is tech too crowded? Sure, tech's crowded, but how can you go niche within a niche? Cooking, beauty of your channel. That is a great way to stand out this year.
Bo, that's a lot of stuff. You know, we've been on here for like almost an hour here, so we're about to wrap it up. But again, like even on that note, like ranking your videos is really important. Part of ranking and part of finding the terms and phrases to be able to get your videos out there is like getting those niche specific terms, right? Like Judy, for example, forever she was doing makeup tutorials, hair tutorials, and now she's really focused on just doing product reviews. That's her thing. She does like first impression product reviews. Outside of that, she's not doing a lot of hair or makeup tutorials anymore, partly because that's not where her heart is, which again goes back to the beginning. Like, do what you're passionate about. Do what you really love or you're really interested in doing, because you know it'll show on camera when you're doing something you're not. But again, like niching down is so important. And once you niche down, it'll be actually easier to rank those videos high. I just want to address another thing that a lot of people are asking. I can't reference one specific person because there's so many. A lot of people are saying like, whether you're in beauty or you're in tech, that like YouTube is just flooded. Like, is it impossible to really gain attention, you know, on YouTube when there's just so many people doing this? At the same time that there's so many people becoming YouTubers, partly that's why we made this channel, Video Influencers, because we know there's people out there and they're asking these same questions. The viewership is just exploding. I believe they're saying like on a daily basis, there's like 1 billion viewers, or that there's 1 billion unique viewers on YouTube, okay? And this is just YouTube. This isn't taken into account all the other digital video platforms, all the like social media apps like Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook that also gain attention. So I actually believe as more people get into this, also there's more opportunities, not just in getting more views, especially if you think about like, maybe it's not important to get 1 million subscribers. Maybe it's more important to get 10,000 or 100,000 people super interested in what you're talking about, because then you can turn that around. And again, we have a video about this, and create a business, create a career, create some kind of like income generating opportunity for yourself with that specific niche audience. And that's one reason why I'm so excited. I know that Sean's so excited about what we're doing, because more and more brands, companies are realizing the attention is on these digital platforms, that you as a YouTuber, you as an influencer have way more power than a commercial on TV. So just like from an opportunity for working with brands, like sponsorship standpoint, literally it could be quadruple this year than what it was last year, because a lot of media agencies, advertising agencies, PR agencies, they're totally cutting traditional media advertising, any kind of like, magazines or print advertising, and putting it all into digital. So what I mean is like YouTube videos, product placements in your videos, rolling ads on online video. So it's really exciting time. And that's why we're excited to be doing this at this time, because I think even more so than ever, if you have something you're passionate about, that you want to talk about, whatever that is, there's probably a way for you to make a living from it. And I'm sure a lot of you are working 9 to 5s and would totally love that. You want to piggyback on that, Sean?
Yeah, just probably as closing thoughts here, and we'll maybe just sneak in one more question, is, as Benji said, I think one thing to think about in a crowded YouTube place is that nobody is you. Like, you are the only you. So even if you also do a beauty channel, you know that your complexion is different, your age, the details about you, your background, all of that is unique to you. And I think the key is to become the strongest and the best and the most clear and the most focused on your strengths, your passion, and go deep on you. That's a way to stand out. No two YouTube channels could ever be the same, because they're going to have two different people, even if they're talking about the same things, different perspectives, different backgrounds, different part of the world. And so be encouraged to really develop your own voice, your own skill, your own talent, and figure out how you could stand out. It's important to stand out and be different. And so but you already are. So go deeper, go get stronger at that. A couple quick things, and we'll take one more question. Thanks so much for watching today. It means a lot.
Yes.
If you want to check out that webinar, if you're specifically curious about ranking videos, this workshop is live for about another day, probably less than 24 hours from now. Just because this content is so packed in here, it's more like meant for you and the video influencers community, but it's not a video that we're going to leave public for very much longer. So that goes in how to rank videos. And with that, let's finish it out. This also, some people are wondering, you can replay this video. This video will be out for a little while. And one of the last points was this question of Benji. Do you have any questions you see in there?
I think somebody asked about Facebook video and how to promote your brand or channel on Facebook. I absolutely do believe that even as a YouTuber, that you can utilize Facebook to grow an audience, especially considering the popularity of video on there. But if I had to give a quick tip before we finish, if you're going to create a video specifically for you for your YouTube channel, but you're going to promote it on Facebook, I'd say create the shortest video you can that delivers the most value. So in the food world right now, what you're seeing is like mini recipe videos. So 30-second videos that give you the ingredients. They kind of give you the general idea of how to cook the recipe. And if you're someone into cooking, that's all you kind of need. Like me, like I'll watch this 30-second thing. And I was like, okay, I know how to cook that. That's all I needed, the ingredients and like the general how-tos. Really important that it's really short, just because of the nature of how people look at Facebook. So short videos, as much value in that short amount of time, and do call to actions to your channel afterwards.
Yep, 100%. So that final question, I think that we're definitely seeing it. If you haven't had a chance to connect with us on Facebook, we are posting some unique content on the Video Influencers Facebook that you can connect with us over there. And you could even You know, we're always doing our best to figure out the best tips and things. And so let me just say, if you haven't joined us or been on the Video Influencers Facebook page yet, this is it. And so we have content coming up here, some behind the scenes stuff, the things that have been happening lately. And so check it out. We got Ashton Kutcher on the page. So that's exciting. But anyways, yeah, so Facebook's one of, when we talked about focusing on social media platforms, that's one of the ones that for us, because Facebook video is important. It's different than YouTube because Facebook video is good for reaching people initially, but you can't rank videos on Facebook. You don't build a library of videos there. They come out, but their lifespan kind of goes away and people aren't looking. They're just waiting for stuff to show up in their newsfeed. So it's a strategy of both. And so you can observe video influencers for some more tips on that. But hey, thank you for taking the time on a Friday to hang out with us.
Appreciate it. We love what we do, and we love, you know, giving any kind of value, sharing any wisdom or experiences that we have to be able to help you. Like I said, between Sean and I mean, we've got like almost 2 decades of experience with video, online video, social media, obviously us as YouTubers as well. So we are passionate about helping you not only build your influence and your income, but also your impact with online video.
100%. Thank you guys. Love you guys so much. Appreciate you. Keep crushing it. Keep smashing it. And have an awesome weekend wherever you are around the world.
Boom.